That report we now have in the studio Comrade Benson Upa. Comrade Upa, it's a pleasure to have you join us once again.
Thank you very much, my brother.
You all seem set.
You look in a good. You look like you're in a good mood. I don't know whether it's a reflection of what's going on in Nigeria, but I don't know. Am I misreading the situation? Are you not in a good mood?
This is an unkind court. You know very well how we all feel now.
Right.
In fact, we don't even know where we are. So this look you see is to mask the internal pain,
right,
and the hunger.
And I suppose it took you years to master that.
Yeah, you know, when you have come the way that I have come, you know, you learn certain things along the way. You pick them up along the way. It's all part of the game of survival. So I look this way. First, to calm down my age, that's one. Then to calm down the hunger and the anger.
Right. Okay, we just saw that.
Yes.
Take us through the thoughts that went into that
Conclusion.
You know, National Executive Council meeting that led to the decision to commence an indefinite strike action on October 3rd next week.
Yeah. You and I are conversant with what has happened, beginning from the moment Mr. President declared on May 29th that subsidy was gone. I mean, the prices that followed and everything changed within hours. Our country turned into something else. Movement of goods, persons, services was shut down, and the price of everything, education, rents, name it, all of that. So we have, in the past 4 months, seen changes that we have not seen in the history of this country, which I can sum up as follows: that has been pain, paralysis, trauma, and confusion in the name of change, in the name of renewing hope in our country and all of that. So, you're equally aware of the fact that owing to these changes and the pains that they brought upon us, that organized labor issued a notice of strike. It was called to the members who were invited to the villa. They did go and had a conversation in spite of all of that, signed a document, a 7-item document, which focused on, among other things, they need to work on our refineries. They need to do palliatives, deepened palliatives beyond what they had envisaged. And then to also ensure wages were reviewed and all of that. We did sign that document. The CNG, to make sure that we have other alternatives to PMS and all of that. We did sign that document, and nothing happened. Severally, nothing happened. And we issued a notice of a protest and went on protest. Government said, give us more time. We came back. We stopped that protest. It was supposed to be a 2 or 3 day thing, but we stopped it on the day one, had a meeting with the president in person. And nothing happened. So we issued notice of a 2-day warning strike with a caveat that at the end of it all, if nothing happens, we'll go on an indefinite strike. We left a window, a very big, wide window. After that, nothing happened. And then we issued a 14-day working day notice to go on strike. We now got invited by the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment, Barrister Lalong. And we met with his team, and all we got was more patience. There was nothing on the table.
So when you say there's nothing on the table, that's the part I want to understand.
Yes.
Because we have seen some movements in terms of palliatives.
Yes.
We've heard announcements about increments of the salaries of university and
35%,
polytechnic
yeah.
lecturers and all. We have seen deals signed because, I mean, if you say CNGs, they are likely going to be powered by independent marketers, and we don't expect a result in 24 hours. There is a time lag between ordering for these things, reconfiguring their stations. So my question is, what is critical to all of those 7 that would make this strike inexcusable if it's not done? Is it on? Do you have a flat-out timeline for all of the 7, or there's something you want on the immediate? There are things you're asking for in the medium to long term, and some others are just low-hanging fruit. Let us understand.
Well, thanks for your intervention here. I wouldn't say it's a question, it is an intervention, but let me just explain. You talked about palliatives. It is important to know that the pain and suffering induced by the policies of subsidy removal and devaluation of the naira cannot be solved by a grain of wheat or a grain of rice. What actually being given out is ochanje. This tin, the peak tin milk is what they're giving now. But let us not even come to the quantity or the quality of what is being done. Well, what has happened is that we were told that states were giving 5 billion, but the more honest governors said no, it's 2 billion, and it is a loan.
It says 59% grant, 51% grant, 49% loan.
So, and we did say from the beginning that we were going to be involved in the architecture of the palliatives, knowing full well what happened in the past, because the previous interventions in the name of palliatives were quite opaque.
They were bailouts.
Yes. So whether bailouts or interventions or whatever the name, or social register. But we say this time around, we are going to be involved, and we would want the process to be deepened by way of giving this thing to low-level workers as well. People who earn very low wages that you can track. That if you say you gave 3,000 to this, we'll be able to track it and all of that. And it was agreed. The next thing we heard that they were giving out palliatives. And we were concerned that who are the beneficiaries of these palliatives. So we had issues with that the spirit of our I found, yes, that it was broken. And then you spoke about CNG. Now let me tell you this: whatever you are hearing about CNG is newspaper talk so far. In 2021, September 27, so we did sign an agreement with government to go CNG because we foresaw this. And we sat with a local manufacturer in the person of Innocent Motors with government. And it was agreed that Innocent would even give Organized Labor 300 CNG buses. Till today, we got 2 buses. And when this process started again, we invited Innocent. Innocent said, government didn't even give it 1 naira, didn't give him 1 naira. That the buses are there. It's ready to roll out anytime. We also had meetings with people who could put in place infrastructure and convert, who have the technical know-how to convert vehicles, your cars, my cars, into CNG. We sat with independent marketers and these guys who are ready to put the infrastructure in place. And we even said, at the end of the day, it was much like that this could be done at 250,000 and payments spread over a stretch of time. Government says theirs will be done by 800,000. Can you see the fraud even involved? It's the disparity between...
Which of the government, which of the administrations?
This administration.
The current administration.
The current administration said the process could be done, that the conversion, they were saying about 800,000. I would say 200 and something thousand. So all that we're saying is that we have the resources, we have the people who could do this locally. And if their capacity will not be enough, we have also discussed with people outside this country, okay, that how long will it take you to bring in the buses? We have all of that on paper. Nothing has moved. Have you seen one CNG bus since this process?
Okay, comrade.
But then you also talked about something else. You said the low-hanging fruits. One of the lowest hanging fruits is wage award. I don't know what obtains here, but many of our members are unable to go to work and go home and come back every day. They sleep in dank places in our offices because they are unable to go and come. Some states
what is the percentage of people who are doing that?
Quite substantial. And even for some of us who are considered privileged, it's not been easy. Now, what I used in filling my tank in the past cannot go beyond 1/3 of that.
I think so, we all understand the mood of the nation, economically speaking. But is it my understanding that there is no trust between organized labor and all the negotiations or talks that you're having with the federal government?
Gross trust deficit, because clearly what government is trying to do is to play for time. It is either that or it never ever contemplated this.
Okay, you're saying, comrade, even with the wage awards that we're seeing in the education sector right now,
wage award?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What is what is a wage award in the education sector?
The 30% increment.
When?
Just this past week.
Just past week.
Yeah.
It was announced this past week. Has it been implemented?
It has been announced.
It has been announced.
And I suppose there's a system that allows for the bureaucracy to take care of the nitty-gritty.
Okay, now let me tell you this. The subsidy was withdrawn in May. We are now the threshold of September, on threshold of October. 4 months. But in any case, education sector, in as much as it is strategic, and there are members, in fact, there are 4 unions from the university alone. If you go to the colleges of education, we'll have 2. If you go to the other ones, will have 1 or 2. So there are members, and we're happy that they are getting this. But we even asked for something which would even have helped the government calm down our mood. We said the university-based unions, 4 of them, non-academic staff union, technologies, senior staff association, and ASU members, government is owing them how many months' salaries arising from their protest. Pay them. Government has not shown any commitment to that.
Comrade, is it my understanding that the NLC or the organized labor generally doesn't think half bread is better than none? Because it looks like you're saying half bread is not better than...
Wait. Half bread, when it is bread, can be better than none. But when it is not bread, it can give you cancer.
All right, I just want a clarity as we're winding down. 30 seconds for this.
Okay, fine.
We talked about the deficits in the trust, but you also talked about the government trying to buy time. And I'm wondering, buying time ahead of what? Buying time from now till when? Is it buying time for eternity, or there is something that they are setting their sights on that they think once that kicks in, other things can follow?
Only the government knows why it has not acted from that time till now. Take note that within hours, government was able to approve something for the parliament 70 billion, for the judiciary 35 billion, for the executive they didn't announce it. Why would it take?
I think this is revising the budgetary allocation for the National Assembly. It's not
reversing for what? Reversing it for whatever. It is not for their projects. It is not a project reversal. So don't go that way. So I mean, so they should also.
We do know that the National Assembly is not just lawmakers alone. There are workers in the National Assembly.
They are our members.
Right.
I mean, the Parliamentary Staff Association. They are members of NLC. This is not their money.
Right.
Do you understand? So all we're saying is that there is gross trust the deficit. Government is not acting appropriately, and also you notice that this policy direction has thrown the entire economy into a tailspin. One, the devaluation. Now at the moment, government is owing NNPC, said to be owing NNPC 7.3 trillion in subsidy debt, and I mean the forex scarcity has halted the importation of more PMS, and you also know that the telecoms, the expenditure has fallen down by 36% owing to telecom, owing to scarcity of whatever. You also know that they are contemplating selling the NNPC and other assets. That is the dangerous way to go. Okay. They have sold everything. Okay. Now that is the last thing standing. After selling NNPC, so what's going to happen next? You and I? No.
Right, okay. Comrade, we have to go. Yes. But barring anything, as far as the government is not willing to give you everything before next week, the strike is going to go ahead as planned.
Strike will go ahead, except the government does the needful. And I want to assure you that it's going to be a total strike. Okay. Yes.
Comrade Benson, we're going to have to leave it here for now. Yes. I suppose it's going to be a very busy couple of days for you and top members of the Organized Labor trying to get these ideas out as to why the Organized Labor is doing this, because some people think it's counterproductive. But either way, thank you very much for stopping by this morning. We really appreciate you joining the conversation.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. It's good to see you as always.
Thank you so much.
Right. So we're going to take a quick break. When we do come back, it will be time for us to bring you up to speed with the stories making the headlines as we take a quick look at some of the national dealers today to bring you up to speed with the headlines. Newspaper review is coming up next.